So this is my second take at this monologue. I had it almost all the way recorded, and somebody came knocking on my door, trying to get my attention. And you might say, "Well, how come you didn't edit it just to make it better?" I didn't feel like doing that. I just felt like maybe just re-saying it all. Um, so about maybe 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation with my uncle, recording it on mics, and it's what you're going to listen to here in just a few moments. And I think it was pretty fascinating, and I just wanted to give a quick introduction to it. Um, you know, I'll preface this episode with something C.S. Lewis once said. C.S. Lewis made now I may be wrong as far as my understanding of this and my memory of it. It's been a while, but the idea was that truth was like a massive mansion of sorts, and that his books, his arguments for Christianity, and all that he did, in that philosophical work that he took part of, was only an attempt to get people into the house. And he said you would walk in, and there'd be rooms lining all the way through this place, and that the most valuable truths and values and ideas and concepts lie within those doors. He said, but he could never lead you into them. He could only ever lead you into the hallway. And he said, if I could lead you into the hallway, then I've done my job. And so with this podcast, in this first episode, we touch on some subjects that can be deep, but we don't venture forth too deeply into those doors because I suppose in this episode we're we're trying to get you into the hallway, I guess, and you're free to get your minds thinking and venture down those ideas yourself. And I think that's how we all form our beliefs, and I think that's mighty important, learning how to think for yourself, not just receiving something someone said. So if we can get you to think, I think we've done our job. We might do a poor job even at that, trying to convey these ideas to you. Um, but we hope our humble attempt in some way causes you to go in some of those doors and maybe experience a truth you've never known before, and discover that it has real meaning and value. So this first episode will be available, and every episode will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And I'll leave a link in the description to my uncle's channel. You can find him on YouTube as well at Hey It's Uncle Poe. I'll leave a link there. Y'all can go ahead and follow him and his content. But yeah, excited for what this episode has in store. We hope you enjoy. And this is episode 1 of the Digestible podcast. And it's digestible. So please consume, eat, devour, receive sustenance, nutrition, and yeah, regurgitate it to someone else. But welcome.
This is the Digestible Podcast, an easy conversation to consume. You are listening to the Digestible Podcast, and Joseph is your host, and sometimes he has a guest.
Hey, it's Uncle Poe, and I'm on Digestible.
And I am your host, Joseph. And today we're going to discuss many things. First of all, for those in the third chair, you know how long I've waited to say that. Like,
That
if there was like a bucket list of things I've been wanting to say, that is one of them. Like for those in the third chair, Uncle Poe is my biological uncle.
yeah, I'm his brother's brother. No, his dad's brother.
Yeah, yeah. My You're not my brother. Yeah, he's my dad's brother. My brother in the Lord.
Yeah, there you go.
Um, but let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. My Our podcast name is misspelled.
I, from public school, didn't even notice when he first sent it to me. I was like, cool, Digestible. But
Yeah, I didn't know it either, and I was telling you this before the podcast, but like I put it in Google because I was trying to type in to see um what it like. I wanted the definition. I knew what it meant, but I wanted the definition of it. And then Google auto corrected me, and took away the A and put an I, and I realized that I had already created this with an A. So we're just gonna write it out. Like it's just a thing now.
Man, all I see is digest and table.
That's what I was thinking. Like able, like you are able to digest, like digestible, like that. That's how I was feeling about it. Like you could play on words, kind of.
Well, it can be whatever we decide it to be because it's new. It's never been made before, so it is whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, and truth is relative. So it's our truth. In our world, digestible is spelled with an A.
Oh, we were talking
Um,
about that not too long ago, right? About the like truth is relative. Like everything you perceive is like you can't tell what is real outside of what you perceive because everything could just be
yeah,
something your mind made up. There was something like that, some kind of
yeah,
philosophy.
yeah, yeah. It was epistemology, the study of knowing, or yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, that
Um,
messed me up, man. When I was younger, like when I was in my teens, that's like I don't even want to say how
yeah.
long ago, like 20 years ago. But
Um,
on the subject of swear words, when you said that, like, what do you count a swear word? To be technically correct, anything said in anger can be considered a swear word. Like even just
yes,
like dang it, dang it
yeah,
on its own's not bad. But when you put that emotion behind it, like even calling someone
yeah,
stupid, like get out of the way, stupid, that anger behind it,
yeah,
that's actually making it a swear word. So all
yeah.
those,
And
go ahead.
I'd say that that's where it always came down to with me, was trying to digest that, because I mean it relates to the conversation we were having that one day about truth being relative, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is that sense of relative truth exists, right? Like that's there's no questions asked. Like to me, a relative truth would be, I suppose, something like an opinion. Like for me, my favorite color is green, and that's a relative truth for me. That does not mean that your favorite color is green. It may be, I don't know. For me to say like everyone's favorite color is green, I think would be like an objective, universal truth. But for me, it being a relative truth, it was trying to figure out what constitutes a swear, and it would always come back down. And I've had conversations with people about this before. Um, In fact, maybe some of those listening remember a conversation I've had with them about this, but it came down to the fact that it all depends upon the posture of the heart of the person, the intent, the motive behind it, because a word can't inherently be evil. Like
Well,
how like who determines that a word is inherently evil? Like somebody has to determine that.
well,
Like
that's true in its sense, but there are certain words that are just too vulgar for what their defined
yeah,
meaning is. Some words don't have meaning, and like we're just gonna say like in the Bible, they would call a donkey an ass. That
right.
on its own isn't a bad word, but when you come to like the F word or like something like
Yeah.
that, or even does the um
Yeah.
like there's certain words that don't have any
Yeah.
English other breakdowns for it. That's when it gets like they already set their own, that those words were invented for that purpose, and
Yeah.
that's what they
And
were spoken into.
yeah, and I think when it came to those words, because we did bring that up, like what about words like that, like right, that don't have a double meaning, like the a
well
donkey or those other words.
well if you
Not,
said
not
fat, like you're saying PHAT, or you're saying fat as FAT.
yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Because back in my
And
day, so I'm born in the late 1900s, and the term
the
fat
late,
used to be
yeah.
called like for pretty hot and tempting. Like you would
Really?
be like, oh, that girl's fat. Like that's well, not really my culture. It was more like a black
Yeah.
person culture, but they would say
Oh, that's
fat.
horrible. That's that's a quick way to get slapped in the face in this generation, I guess. Um, but like, so we came to the conclusion that like, okay, so say like we're talking about the F word, right? Like the fact that it was created with that, or like its origins. I won't get into the origin of it, but like um came down to was, oh, I drew a blank. My brain went dead. Oh
Well, we
gosh,
went
that's
we went
horrible.
we went in the deep end real fast, man.
We did.
I thought it was gonna be like a light-hearted, family-friendly episode
Yeah.
where we just talk about silliness. Cause this I'm Uncle Poe, and online you can find
Yeah.
me as Hey, it's Uncle Poe, and pretty much all my comments and the way I talk to people who stream is like I'm trying to be supportive, and I'm trying to change my online persona of like how people perceive my online usage as something
Being,
positive.
yeah.
And I'm trying not to be like try not to be online as much like I used to be. But when I am, I try to throw out little positivity out there for everybody.
That's okay. So that's an interesting point. Like talking about persona, changing your persona. In some way, I feel like you look at history, right? You have these people that did certain things that's what forever they are remembered for. Like they might have been great people, like great folks, and then like they do something stupid, like Custard, for instance, like George Armstrong Custer. Like the only reason why, well, maybe not the only reason, but the main reason why we remember him was for what? His famous loss when he got slaughtered by Sitting Bull at Little Bull
Little
Run?
Bighorn.
Little Bighorn, yeah. Bull was, what was Bull Run? Was that?
Sitting Bull was he was one of the last chiefs, I think, the great chiefs, and he
Yeah.
was part of the circus, I believe, towards the end.
Really?
Yeah, the man, I used to know about him. But this is back in my hippie days, man. I was all into like trying to be spiritual and like native, and I was like, this is when I started
Yeah.
reading because before I hated reading, and so I started reading when I was all into like drugs, and
Who did you read?
it's an autobiography. I had like a full on thick autobiography on him.
Of Custard?
No,
Oh,
Sitting Bull.
no, no, no. Sitting Bull.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, no custard. I thought that was a dessert for
Yeah.
the longest time.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I did hear about him
No.
in history class, but yeah, we you only hear certain things on certain people in history. But to be like that kind of like looking back, everyone looks at it through a modern lens, which is kind of like
Yeah.
it's really hard to judge people in the time that they were in because of the
Oh, yeah.
culture that they were raised in. Because during that time, culture, the norm of everyday life was different. Like everyone's standard had a different motive. They might not have been good, they might not have been bad, but there was some kind of cultural push on them that pushed them to like one side or the other.
Yeah. Which there's this idea. I don't know who it's ascribed to. For all I know, it could be some wild philosopher. But I've heard the term, and this is just my interpretation of it. But I don't know if you've heard it. It's nurture versus nature. Um, and I guess you could take that two ways. You were saying about um, the culture and all of that,
Yeah.
of how a person is not only defined as far as their growth as a person, as a being, not only by their nature, as far as like everybody has an innate nature of who they are as a person, but also it's like you said, shaped and nurtured by your society and your culture.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you could separate that, like two separate beings, like you have one completely removed from that nurturing environment and you get okay, no, that's confusing because no matter what, you're going to be nurtured by something. Like I don't think that's something that could exist with a vacuum, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Because hmm, like I'm trying to think of a way to put it because every man has a nature in himself to be wicked.
Right, yeah.
So we're always going to put ourselves first, no matter what. Even at the end of the day, man is always going to put himself first. If he's hungry versus if someone else is hungry, he's going to try to get food for himself.
Yeah.
It's just inherent in us. We are a real greedy species.
Yeah, and I think that's where the Calvinists got it right. Now, because you hear Calvinism, right, and you get like a bad rap on that, bad taste in people's mouths, especially for those who are not ascribe to Reformed theology. It's that, oh, total depravity is like the idea that you are so utterly wicked and depraved, nothing could save you but a sovereign act and decree of God. And it sounds like strong language, but in a sense they're right. Like, the Bible does say, I did you did not choose me, I chose you, right? Like he made the first move. And it also says like herein was the love of God proved that when we were yet sinners, he died for us. And so yeah, like there's that innate
Yeah.
inherent nature to wickedness that is,
Well,
how do I say it? It's like it leaks into everything.
yeah. It's because if you look at man alone and you can judge, if you hold up the best human that's ever been human besides Jesus, because he was part God. If you just get man alone from just every man that was ever made besides Jesus, okay, let me reference that,
Okay.
and you get the best human,
Who would that be? Adam Sandler, I think. I think that's a good vote.
Adam said, well,
He was a good daddy. And what was that movie he did? Big Daddy, was that it?
yeah, Big Daddy. Well, if you get
Yeah.
that man and you lift him up and you put a measurement on him and you make everything he did in his life statistics, a lot of us would not even hit that statistics or even know what kind of bar was set. So, hey,
Yeah, you know what? I think I'll go on an interesting point here. Yes, you talk about the bar being set, right? I think what's so remarkable is that the idea of taking man, right? We have like you say the best possible human being that ever lived besides Jesus, right?
mm-hmm,
And you take all that they've done and you set the stats, right? And you set the bar. It's like Jesus was so far beyond that because to say there is a bar, he set the bar is to presuppose that there is a limit, right? Like there is something there's the nth degree you could reach, right? Like the highest, like there's a cap at some point, and there's a bottom at some point. It sort of presupposes uh an already established scale, right? Whereas Jesus takes it beyond that and he says, I'm beyond the scale, right? He's beyond the bar. Like that's how far beyond it he is. It's not like you could never reach it. So think of it like this. Like this is how C.S. Lewis described time and eternity. He said time is like you getting a piece of paper and you drawing a line in the middle of the paper, the line being time and eternity being paper. But I guess in this instance, it's like you take all that man is the best he could possibly be, your Adam Sandler Big Daddy or your Mother Teresa, and they're the highest form of goodliness that man could possibly be external from Christ. They are the line on the paper, like that's the highest bar, right?
yeah,
But Jesus is the paper, like he's beyond, and in fact, he's everything beyond it. Like it's not so much that I could reach it, like there's a bar to get there. He exists beyond it. Like
I think
that's how.
he's the ultimate mirror that reflects your true self when you look at him, because you can see you're actually full of like things that are so twisted to, like, everyone has their own struggles, but when you try to compare yourself to God, he's the ultimate mirror of how you should be. And you just see
Oh yeah,
all the stains and stuff that you're on, like all your dirty clothes, all the dirt smudges in your soul and everything. And you just see that because that bar that it's like the bar that was set by man, it was just the height of what we can achieve. That's basically all that bar was. It's every goodness that man can achieve was there. That was the level. And
right.
Jesus came in and showed you, like, no, like, just on your own, that's far as you guys can achieve. And that's all you're ever going to achieve. And that is only just like the first starting line of what I can do.
Yeah. You know, there was a missionary to Africa. His name was Parish Raidhead, and I think I told you this before. But he said the end of all being is the glory of God. Basically, he answered the question, the age of question, the problem of pain, right? Especially for Christians, why should good people suffer? Why do bad things happen to good people? And he was saying, he was, asking God this essentially. And he was like, why should God take a man? and nail him to a cross, kill him, drown him under the waters of death, annihilate every last facet of who that man is. And he answered his own question and said, because it's the only way God can get glory out of a human being is if the human's dead.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was the, gosh, I'm drawing a lot of blanks today. Like I had it on the tip of my tongue and then it just falls away. And that is so annoying. I have no idea what I was
Well,
going to say
I've
now.
had that thought too of oh man, now I just went blank. You're gonna have to
Ah,
cut this part right here, dude.
we're ignorant and unlearned and we are out of our depth.
Yeah, we went into deep waters really fast, man. We were only
Really
recording for
fast.
like 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and
You know what?
we went into eternal comparing man and to like God. You know, like
And we hardly even scratched the surface. We made no headway.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna sound dumb when we play this back. We're gonna be like, what were
Oh
these
yeah,
guys talking about?
for sure. So then I'll pivot then. I'll pivot in a way that's kind of related to what we're talking about. So we brought up the idea of like stats, right? Like statistics
Oh,
of like
yes,
greatest man. And I had a friend who, gosh, I think I know which friend it was, but he just made this comment. He's like, what if when you die, okay, at the end of your life, you die, but instead of going to heaven, the first thing you do is like when you die in a video game and all your stats pop up. And you just get this giant vision of all your stats, like how many pounds of meat you consumed, how many steps you took, how many burps you made in your entire life, how many tacos you've eaten, like how many red
that
lights you've
is
run,
awesome thought to think
like a
about.
stat about everything. Like
Well,
like
that is
what would your stats be?
oh, dude, taco eating. I have no idea, dude. I've consumed massive amounts of tacos.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that me at no barely I was about to say 18. I'm not 18. I'm 20.
See, you're
At
starting to
20,
experience it, dude. That happens to me
that's
all the
weird.
time.
Um, at 20 years of age, I think it's safe to say I've consumed somewhere north of 500 pounds of tortilla. I think that's safe to say.
I'm pretty sure you consume more than that.
I feel like too, but like by the time I started eating tortillas, I was like, let's just say 8. Okay, let's just say 8 was like the age where like it really began
Because you
kicking
know
off.
potato chips. I mean, not potato chips, corn tortilla chips. That's still they're
Oh,
just deep
snap,
fried,
yeah.
you know? So I'm
Oh,
pretty sure you
those
consumed a
Cheetos
lot
got
more.
me.
But
Yeah.
speaking on stats and levels, um, I'm a creator and I've always looked at life like that. Like as you get older, it's just a level. You go up. So I would
Like more
be
XP,
level
right?
um shoot, how 37. I do some math right now. I was like, how old am I again? So yeah, I'm level 37 is I would see it, and then I have a bunch of
Oh,
like little classes that I've unlocked in my life.
okay. Well, I am level.
20.
Hold on. Let me get my calculator out here. No, no. See, because truth is relative, right? We're just talking about that. So
I know the day you
I'm
were
level
born.
240.
No, I knew the day you were born. You're
Well,
level.
I'm going by months.
No, no.
Like 12 months in a year. Therefore, 20 times 12 is 240. I'm level 240 because that's how subjective truth works,
Well,
right?
if we go back to the Bible, they used to have 13 months, so you're actually younger than 20.
That's true. Okay, so then I'm minus. Uh,
But it didn't account for leap years, so you have to minus a year
oh.
a day for every 4 months, every 4 years.
Okay, then I'll just say 200 then. I'll go ahead and be liberal and cut 40 off. I'm level
Well, as
200.
I'm the one that brought up the thought idea, I'm saying you're level 20 because
Fair
you
enough.
can't be
Okay.
higher level than me. It's just that I'm not gonna allow that.
That's just not how that works. Okay.
Putting the
All right.
gavel
So
down.
you have more XP. You had um let me see. Okay, so go ahead, go ahead.
All right.
My mind's going somewhere else. Like
So
I'm
I was
going
talking
like
about levels and different stats. So classes. So basically, I wanted to learn a lot of different things in my life because I was always afraid going older as an old man, I would not remember a lot of things. I've always had that idea set in my since my family like Alzheimer's runs in it. So I was a little scared that thinking maybe in the future I might not
Yeah.
remember things as much.
Heimer's a great runner.
So I wanted to be able to just do crafts that they put in front of me. And I used to tell this joke to my friend, and I would say, when I'm an old man and they put me in a home, they're going to put anything in front of me, and I'm just going to pick it up and just start doing it. Like whittling, painting, modeling, puzzles. And they're going to be like, wow, where did you learn how to do that? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't even
You
know
think
who I
that's
am.
naive to assume that they'll hand you something like that? Like, I feel like if anything, they're gonna hand you like a roll of toilet paper and like just tell you to like
I
accept that
I
the end
have
is
used
nigh.
toilet paper to make paper mache. So,
No, you haven't.
yes, I have. I'm telling you, bud, I've did a lot of crafting since I was about 20 years old. I got really into crafting stuff and I wanted to
So
learn how to do everything. So my love of art and all that stuff stems from when I was a kid, I wanted to do cartoons. I used to love drawing cartoons. And then as I got
really?
older, I got into graffiti.
Oh
Graffiti was a
yes,
big
yes.
part of my life.
What was? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I remember it. Your Deplore era, right?
Mm-hmm. So I went
There it
as
is.
Deplore until I made a mistake and did something stupid and I had to drop the name. And I didn't really get too much usage of that name like I wanted to. So I if this goes on record, you can't prove that was my graffiti. Because I
You
don't
can
know the
actually
statute of
never.
limitations. Plus I was only like 15. I was like, it's like
What's
20
the past tense of graffiti? Graffitied? Graffitied? Graffiti?
graffitted.
Graffitied. We'll say graffitied. So your graffitiing days,
You just,
um,
it's just like moose. It's just graffiti.
like meese?
No, mooses.
Oh no, moose is just moose, huh?
Yeah,
Singular and plural?
yeah. Unlike mouse, it's like meese.
Oh yeah. Okay, so graffiti is just graffiti. Okay.
Graffiti's just graffiti. So in those years, I got into graffiti, and you learn real quickly when you're doing graffiti. When someone gives you a can and you walk up to a wall to put your name, you realize you don't know how to use a spray can, and you don't know how to make your name look cool. That's something that's hard to learn when you just first start out.
Is it because of the stock nozzle that comes on it?
Yes, it's because it's the shape of the can and the way you hold it is like you put like you're grabbing a can of soda, but move your index finger, point it up to the sky.
Okay.
Now, your hand is going to cramp after the first couple minutes just because you're not used to that arching your fingers like that.
Ah.
And when you start writing, when you press that can, you don't know nothing about depth, can control, or like what distance you need to be. So most times you see people spray and
Yeah.
their line
Oh
does
my
not look
gosh.
solid.
We're gonna have to whistle here. I'm just being
This is the Digestible podcast. We will be right back, so don't go anywhere. This is the Digestible podcast, and we are back.
And we're
That's
back
my
with
name too.
the what were you saying? You're talking about the nozzle, right?
Oh, graffiti. Just nozzle tip control is what it's called. That is hard to learn, and that's not even that's just one aspect of it that you learn to appreciate as you get better in your craft. So, talking about design was the next step. So, when I started trying to draw my name, you learn real quickly about like if you ever try to do graphic design, you realize
Yes.
If you try to freehand it, all your letters don't look the same.
No, it's horrible.
Yeah, that is one of the hardest things is finding your style of lettering. I guess you would call it a font now, like to have
Yeah.
everything be the same font, like just so people can understand. But
So what was your go-to? Because there's like the big fat bubbly letters that always appealed to me, but then there's like the weird jagged long hook-looking thingies.
I was mixed between squared with jagged little bits popping off.
Ah,
Yeah, I added little
okay.
gribblies, if you want to call them that, like little
What's
offshoots.
a gribbly?
Gribbly is
Okay.
so gribbly in modeling is anything like vents, little mechanical looking parts you glue on to make it look industrial.
Yeah.
Those are called gribblies.
Okay.
So
So
that's another thing I learned about too. That's going like further on from this part. But yeah,
did
graffiti.
you come up with a name for that font?
No, you. Well, I never came up with the name, but I had a friend who used to do graffiti, and it looked like spaghetti noodles, and I liked it. I said, "Man, I like your spaghetti style." I used to call it spaghetti style,
Really?
and I
That
actually,
I would have called that, you know what? I would have called that al dente. That's the font I would have named that.
yeah, but I didn't know al dente at the time. I was only like 14.
Oh, okay, this is the years
Yeah,
of darkness and ignorance.
yeah. So I was like, that looks like spaghetti, and I
Yeah.
knew what spaghetti
So
looked like, and I said, I like your spaghetti style. And I asked him, I said, how do you get a shadow like to your letters? And he explained how to get a drop shadow, and then how to give your letters a dimension by adding like just a beveled edge to the side.
yeah.
So
So
that's
how many pieces did you do?
ooh, not that many. I I'm sad to say I didn't do a lot of pieces. It is scary being a young man at that time when there was a green light on graffiti taggers.
There was a green light.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Why?
There was some moments where there were green light. It's but when you're a little hippie kid, you don't know a lot of these politics that are going on in the streets.
Yeah.
So you hear word of mouth, and then they're like, "Oh, so yeah, we shouldn't be out graffitiing right now, or we got to stay to certain areas." Plus, paint is
Okay.
expensive. If you're a kid trying to buy paint, you know how hard it
Oh
is.
yeah. Oh yeah. So for those in the third chair, I love that term. Well, what he means by green light, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is from my understanding, is you got street gangs where, certain parts of Southern California. And basically, when he means that, like, oh, graffiti was greenlit, was anyone caught doing it was open game for them to be
Handled.
handled and
Yeah,
dealt with
it up to their
by said gangs.
description, the description, just discretion.
Yes, and no repercussions. They were
Yes,
free. There would be no backlash, no nothing. They were greenlit.
because there's a whole set of politics when you get into that life, and gang life. There's a lot of politics you have to follow, and that's I was never down to die for a street. I
Yeah.
wasn't really part of a big crew. I had a small crew that was just made up of friends and family that I wanted to hang out with. But crews, big crews, and like gang life that never appealed to me.
Yeah, that's just I was just talking to my grandpa about this the other day, and he was kind of filling me in on the politics that went on. It's insane. Like it's like you think Washington's confusing and complicated, like it's just as complicated and confusing with these street gangs. It's insane.
Dude, you have to have a conversation with him on mics. It he
I
has some of
do.
the craziest stories, but I'm
Oh
pretty
yeah.
sure he can't record. So
No, he can't.
yeah, so but he
Yeah,
that man is he has
yeah.
some funny stories of just random stuff. And I'm pretty sure I have some funny stories that I can maybe not tell, but there's some I can tell, but I'm not going to go into that just because that glorifies an old life that I no longer participate in.
Yeah. So if you're hearing this, it means that I could not find a way to edit these clips properly to make it sound like smooth and it was flowing. So I'm just inserting this clip to tell you how much of a horrible editor I am, and that I hope you're enjoying the podcast up to this point. Uh, After I'm done talking, the audio will cut harshly back to where my uncle left off, and I'm doing this so that way you guys don't think he's insane and just jumps into random subjects at his own free accord. Um, so I guess I'm done yapping. Yeah, please forgive my horrible editing job, but get ready for this harsh cut back into the podcast. But hope you're enjoying.
All right, so Spaghetti Sal, when I asked him about the drop shadow and I learned that, that's when I learned about asking questions. I never before would really ask questions on people's craft. And something I learned then, if you see someone who makes art and you ask them with a genuine sincerity of question of how to do something, you would be surprised at how open people are to talk about something that they're passionate about.
Oh yeah.
So I came across another graffiti artist looking through black books, and we're at a friend's house, and I was like, whoa, I was like this.
Explain what a black book is for
Oh,
those who don't know.
okay. Uh a black book is your own personal portfolio of graffiti art. So it is a art book with it has a black cover, hence the name a black book. Inside are blank pages, and you would normally pass that book around. You would do they call them pieces, but a piece of art. You would draw a piece of art in there, add a lot of markers, colors, make it look cool, add a character, and then you would give it to your friend and have him do something, and then he would give it to his friend, have him do something, and it kind of like passes from hand to hand, and people just put their art in there and represent their crews, their name,
Yeah,
put their art in, and then that guy gets it back at the end, and he has a portfolio of just full art.
that is so cool.
So,
And actually, I remember seeing some of your black books that. Do you still have them?
um, I think I do. I really don't know where they are, but I'm pretty sure I have like two of them, and one of them I kind of stole. I'm kind of I feel
Oh,
bad about it now that I'm saved again, and I feel bad. I kind of have this guy's book,
do
but
you know who he is?
I don't know his name. I only knew him as an alias, and so like graffiti world, you meet a lot of people and you don't actually learn people's real name. So a lot of my friends, I just knew their handle, their graffiti handle, or their graffiti name, and
Is
that
that what it's called? A handle?
well, I'm saying like CB radio, like their handle, but you can it's interchangeable.
Oh,
So
I'm ignorant. I don't know what that means.
oh, the handle that yeah, that's
Yeah.
radio talk. So that's how you're perceived on CB radio. You would say your handle like Smokey and the Bandit. Bandit was his handle.
Okay. Ah, okay.
Yeah, so you'll be like, Papa Bear, come in. That's his handle, Papa Bear. He's calling out to that individual.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so basically that is your name that you come up with. And coming up with names not easy as well, but it's kind of fun. And then some names are just given to you. And yeah, it's so
So what would my name be? Like, think you meet me on the street, right? Like I dab you up, we lock eyes, you're getting a feel.
you already know your name, dude.
What's my name?
You already know. It's four
I don't
letters.
know. 4 letters.
Mm-hmm.
Yo-yo?
Yep. That would be your name.
Yo-yo.
You would be Yo-Yo.
That would be. I don't know. I'm thinking about that. Like that would be so weird. Like I'm trying to. It's weird to envision. Like I'm trying to think of like me being like a Tony Hawk skater kind of dude. Like early 2000s. I got the spiky hair,
Dude,
the
my
ugly
first name I
goatee.
chose for myself was Zen. Zen.
Zen?
I was a hippie kid, dude. I had a fro. I was
Did you
pale.
listen to Weird Al Yankovic? Like did you buy his cassettes or something?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so you weren't
We
that
didn't.
far out.
No, we didn't buy cassettes, buddy. We went to.
Okay, you
We had
borrowed them.
CDs. Okay, I'm not that old. We
Oh,
had
okay.
CDs, man. When I was in
I'm sorry. I thought. Yeah, you're not the ancient of days, not yet.
No, no, no. I'm from the late 1900s. Okay,
Okay,
I'm
the
not
late
in.
20th century.
Yeah, I was raised in the 90s, and then I was like raised also in the 2000s. When you
Okay, so
came around,
you had Walkmans, right? Sony Walkmans.
yes.
Okay.
So we would go to Circuit City. You guys don't know what this place is, but Circuit City was a magical land that had CD aisles for as far as the eye can see. And
That sounds pretty cool, actually.
yeah, and you would walk in there and you would pop the cases and pull out the disc and put that in your pocket.
So tactical,
We would
like,
steal CDs. We would not buy anything. But music, that's a whole different like topic of genre, that stuff. But yeah, Zen. That was my first name I thought of, and I was gonna be Zen because I thought I was cool and I thought I was a hippie. And I was like, yeah, I'm Zen. Zen.
how
That
old were you?
oh 14 maybe?
This is lore that I'm barely learning for the first time.
Dude, when I was 13, we left church. Oh no, I was 12 when we left church. And 13, I got high for the first time.
At 13?
At 13, we bought some weed off my friend's sister, and she sold us this tiny littlest speck of like weed for $15. We got totally ripped off. Like thinking back on it, like as an adult, thinking back to my old memories, she took advantage of us.
That was extortion.
But you know what's crazy is we only needed that little bit to get us high because we never smoked weed before.
And, too, back then, it was, it wasn't as, how should I say it? Like, diluted, I suppose. Like, it was, like, authentic, natural. Like,
No, it wasn't synthesized like it is
is
now.
that it? Okay, so, yes, there you go.
Yeah, it wasn't. It, like back then was natural, just pulled from the earth, sent from Mexico. Because that's all it was. You would take too much of it and it would give you a headache. But yeah, so from 13 on to 20, I was doing drugs, getting high, and getting drunk. And I got saved at 20, which is kind of odd. On my 21st birthday, I was saved in church.
Wow.
Yeah, so my whole teenage life was just a wild, crazy stories of just being, you know what, just being looked out for by God. Because literally, I've done some dumb stuff, and got just had no repercussions of a lot of stuff I did.
Yeah.
I was literally in the back of a cop car at one point, wandering drunk from Upland, walking to Pomona, walking towards
Upland.
yes, I was in Upland at a house party. Apparently I got drunk and started table dancing, and then I was like, I'm leaving, and I'm like, I know where I am. I'm gonna walk home. I started walking and I started going north. If you know anything about the geographical area of California,
Yeah.
Upland,
North is not good.
yeah, Upland is east of Pomona, like northeast kind of. I
Yeah.
was going north. I was going towards the mountains.
Yep.
I believe from that night I remember trying to break into cars and trying to break into a building. I don't know what I was gonna do when I was
Whoa,
in the
yeah,
building or not. I don't know. I remember snippets of that night, and I
You're gonna
remember
use the toilet.
I grabbed a big old rock, and I was like, I'm gonna go in that building. I went, huh, and I threw it, and it went bink. It bounced off the window, and I stood there. I was
Wow.
like, wow. And I was like, "Do you see that?" And I was talking to. I thought maybe someone was there, but I don't remember if someone was actually following me. But I remember
It was
just being
crazy.
in stunned silent, going, "Wow!" That's the only part I remember. The next thing I know, I'm walking in the middle of the road, and a cop pulls up with his lights on and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I just remember saying, "I'm going home. I'm walking home." They say, "Get in the car." So they handcuff me, put me in the back seat, and I just start talking to them. I don't remember what I'm talking about. I just remember parts of it. And they're like, "Where do you live?" And I'm like, oh, I live in Pomona off of so-and-so street over here. And I'm just walking home. Where were you coming from? I'm like, oh, I was coming from Bullwinkles. That's the next closest area in that where I was.
Yeah.
So I was by Bullwinkles trying to walk home. And I told them I'm by there and I was going from Bullwinkles home. And they said, I remember just hearing them laughing and I had them cracking up. I was telling jokes, I guess. And these guys were laughing and they were having they ended up taking me to a 7-Eleven at the edge of Upland, gave me pocket change and said, call for a ride home. I don't want to see you out here on the streets. And I said, you got it, officer. And I woke up and I was in a living room I didn't remember. Apparently I got picked up.
That's insane.
Dude, God watched out for me so much. Like, that's not the first time I was in the cop car. Or stopped by the cops. Like,
There's smell good in there at least. Like, did they have a good air freshener?
I don't remember.
Do you remember like the leather? Like, was it like
No,
a
dude, the cop cars?
98 Accord, like smooth velvet kind of
No, dude, cop cars, it's hard plastic.
in the back?
In the back seat. The seats are hard
Really?
plastic and there's no leg room. It's a
That's
sheet of
neat.
metal in front of you, and then there's plexiglass, like some thick bulletproof plexiglass or whatever. And then there's no handles on the inside, and the seat you're sitting in is hard, and your hands are behind you, and they tuck into this little plastic thing that hurt.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude. So I got lucky because I've always looked young and innocent. I think that was my major flaw with my life. I've looked young and innocent like majority of my life.
Yeah.
So they looked at me and seen a baby deer and like, oh, you know what? Go home.
Go.
Yeah. So a lot of times that happened to me multiple times, dude.
That's hilarious.
And then I got home and I was like, yeah, those punk cops, you know, I would take it as say something stupid. But yeah, I was really looked out for by God, dude. I could have had a worse life.
Oh yeah.
But I did learn when doing graffiti is asking questions and how people open up. And later,
Yes,
and later,
that's true.
yeah, and later on in life, dude, that helped me out a lot on learning different crafts. And that takes us back to the beginning when I was saying about levels and learning different things. That's why I started learning about
Does.
leather, woodworking, jewelry making, embroidering. I got into embroidering at one part.
Wow.
Yeah. And then just regular art, model making. That's where I learned about Griblies, miniature
Yeah.
painting. Then I got into
Miniature
3D
painting's
printing.
cool.
Yeah, so like
Now
it's fun.
I remember getting into because I was kind of the same way, and it was only because of you, because you would share with me your hobbies and your different interests. But like you were talking about talking to people that are passionate about what they're involved in, just ask them questions. Like I had a friend, um, and he lives in Alabama. I think he's moving to Mississippi. I'm not sure what stage in the moving process he's in, but he lives in Alabama, and he is hands down, I mean, probably the best pianist I've that I know personally. I know another person that's such slightly better, but this dude could shred
That's
like
cool.
none other. Like he could shred, and I would just pick his brain. Like I would like, okay, how do you do this? How do you do that? And man, he'll sit there and he'll just go off, like just yapping, like just spitting it out, like getting so passionate. And I learned so much from it. Like my piano playing went from like dull mediocre to like from like wah 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 wah, like hardly any rhythm or anything to it,
Yeah.
to understanding how keys work, knowing how to like freestyle, like to shy away from the main chords and kind of experiment. And but like I told him I want him to play the piano at my wedding. Like he's that good, like
Yeah. Dude,
that good. Like he
you were
could.
pretty good too, man. I was surprised when you got up there on you're part of the song service, dude.
You could hear me.
From what I heard, yes.
Oh wow.
But you're just doing like real low melody while the other people are like the main guy is
Yeah.
like he's getting down too, but you were really good, dude. Like you got up there. Like not a lot of people get thrown up there and put into an instrument position that it just blends in.
Yeah, it's interesting because so what we do up there, we have the lead instrument, which is the piano, and they're the lead, so they need to have the freedom to freestyle and do whatever they want. Every other instrument is a secondary instrument. So we have a organ player, a keyboard player, a piano player, a guitar player, a drummer, and a bass player. So because the piano's the lead, what we have to do is be rhythm instruments.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm playing piano as well, but usually I'm on strings or like some synthetic pad to make it sound nice, like an ambient. So
Oh.
what that does is I'm playing the chords for her for the song, and I'm staying in rhythm, right? I'm not branching out. I can't really freelance because if I freelance with different melodies, I'll clash with her melody, with the organ's melody, and the guitar's melody. Now, the main one who should be having melody is the piano and the guitar. The guitar can fill in the gaps and hit those melodies where the piano can't, and the piano just the lead instrument does whatever they want. So what'll happen is I'll be playing rhythm. So say we're in the key of C and we have a standard 1 6 4 5 progression. So what that means is I'm going to go to my C, I'm going to go to my A minor, to my F, to my G. So C, A minor, F, and G. That's a classic progression, and we're doing that right.
Mhm.
I'm playing those chords boring in rhythm, like wah 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 wah, like just rhythm. And it's important because if the lead instrument gets lost, they always have a landmark to go back to. If I'm over here trying to cut a rug and mess around and she gets lost, she's not going to know where I'm at.
Yeah.
She needs to be able to hear that chord I'm playing and they're able to hear it and find out what the rhythm is because I'm not over there trying to cut a rug playing a bunch of melodies. I'm staying in rhythm.
Yeah, because
Um,
that's important, dude. Because if you ever had like you're in worship and someone behind you's clapping off beat, that
oh, yeah.
really throws you off.
Yeah, it does. It's horrible. And it's even worse when you're playing an instrument, when you got someone off beat. Now, because the thing is, if the pianist messes up, it's very easy for you to question the next chord you're playing because you're like, wait, am I the one messing up? Because you just hear the dissonance, right? You just hear like the like the clash of the tones, and so you're like, oh snap! So you panic for a moment and you look down like, am I playing the right thing? And you try to play the right chord, and that you might go into the transition the wrong way. You might hit the wrong chord, and so everybody panics. So what you do in that moment is what I've learned when someone messes up, you do not stop. You don't stop for them. You keep going. They'll find their way back in. You cannot stop for them. If you stop for them, everyone's going to fall apart because your drummer's going to be like, "Oh snap, are we stopping?" He's going to lose his beat, and then you're like, "No, keep going." And then like he's already just lost his beat. He lost his tempo, so he's all over the place. And all your other musicians are trying to figure out how to get back in tempo with the drummer. So it's like if your main instrument like completely bombs it, everyone else shouldn't stop for them. You keep going.
Yeah, man, I can only imagine how difficult that is while playing an instrument because you have to be on time. Like I'm telling you, I have trouble just with someone clapping off beat. And I'm like, dude, you're throwing me off. I'm trying to sing, and like
Yeah.
I start doing my hand like off the thing, showing like so they could see like I'm tapping my leg. Like, all right, this is the beat, bud. This is where you need to be with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that throws me off, and I'm like, I'm not even playing an instrument. I'm just trying to just sing.
Yeah. It's fun. Like it because you could when certain songs like you're building up like on a bridge or something, um, you have that freedom to kind of cut a rug. Like there's sometimes where like you get excited up there and you just start smacking those keys. Like you just start like jamming. And it's even funner on the piano when you're the lead piano
Yeah.
because you know that your musicians are backing you up, they're building with you. So your main builder is yeah the piano because you got like because there's such a wide range, right? You got a lot of lows and you got a lot of highs. So when you're building and you're building that tension, a lot of times you're hitting a lot of bass notes. Um, so the bass is good for that. It helps build that like that loud sound. That's like, okay. We're building up to something, and then of course you're swelling with the cymbals from the drummer, like that's building up a lot, and the drop kick, and then your guitarist just starts shredding so what's fun about that is once you're trusting them, they're building up because even if they can't hear the instrument, they're hearing the drums. They're hearing it build up to something. You can do whatever you want on that piano. It is so funny. You could smack any key and just start hitting it, slamming it, it'll sound good.
Yeah.
Because they just hear that building, right? And they're not really paying attention to the actual tone and the sound of it. They're more focused on it getting louder and louder and louder, and then the boom, the strong entrance into the chorus, and then it goes back into the chord progression and the melody. So that's where you have fun when you're building, when you're trying to get to that climax,
Yeah.
because you could swipe your fingers on the keys, you could drag them across, you could hit keys that aren't even in the right key, but because you're slamming them, it just sounds loud and cool, and it makes you feel really cool. It makes you feel like you're jamming. I mean, it doesn't take much skill, but it makes you feel like you really know what you're doing, but you're not.
See, I don't know. I don't know that feeling because I'm not musically inclined, dude. That is not one of my talents that I possess. I'm not good
Yeah,
with music.
I love it. Like I love being able, because there's a moment when you, and this is very rare. I don't experience it all the time, and I'm probably gonna sound like some weird like crazy nut for this, but like I just love music, and so I'm just gonna go. I'm sure you felt this with different things you love doing, but like there's a moment. There's a difference between when you're playing the instrument and like you're jamming out, having a good time. There's a difference between that and the moment when you feel like you bonded with the instrument, like you become one with it. I know that sounds stupid and like
No, you get
corny
in the
and kind of
zone.
like, yeah, but it's like it's more than that. Like you literally feel like you're in sync with your instrument. So like there's been times where like I'll be playing the piano by myself, like not in front of anybody, just being my alone time. I just play my piano. And I start playing something, I'm like, okay, like this is fun. I'm just making stuff up and whatever, and boom, my time's over, and I just go and like, oh, that was fun. Then there's times where like I start making stuff up, and I'm just playing, and I just like hit a moment, like I just start crying, like I'm just like I'm bonding with this instrument, and it just flowing, like it's flowing. Like I know what key to hit, I know what chord to hit, I know what kind of bass walk to do, I know what kind of progression to make. I know where I'm going. I have the sense of direction, and I'm free to just like do whatever I want.
That's so
And
cool.
I'm just like I'm feeling it. Like you get tingly, like your heart starts racing, and you're feeling it. Like your hands start shaking, and you're just pounding the keys, and you're moving everywhere, and you literally become like one with the instrument. And if you try to replicate it, you can't. I would jam out and play things and feel like, man, like this is so dope and awesome. And I would try to sit there the next day and do it, and I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't remember what I played because it was just so much in the moment. And I wish I recorded those things. Like if I recorded them, then I could listen and figure out what I was playing. But there's so many cool songs I hadn't made up, things like progressions I made on the piano that I don't even remember anymore because it was just in the moment kind of deal.
So are you
So
singing along too when you're making these songs, or are you just
no,
making music?
just music. Sometimes songs, but not hardly any. Hardly no. A lot of those times I'm feeling that way. No singing because it's hard to get in the zone like that when you're singing because you're focused on singing. Um, so every time that I've had that moment, it's been without singing. Like it's just making music.
Yeah.
Um, so and when you feel that when you're playing in a band, that's even cooler because everyone else is feeling it, and so like you're all in sync and like it's special. Like it's only happened a few times to me with a band with other instruments that we kind of feel like we're all hitting that moment together. But I've had quite a few just by myself, and you can't replicate those moments.
Yeah, that's so awesome, man. I wish I knew how to play instruments.
Yeah, it's you know I never wanted to take lessons because the moment I was forced to do it, wouldn't want to do it anymore. I always wanted it to be a hobby, and so I started playing in high school, probably sophomore, freshman year, high school, and just YouTube figuring out how to do it. And
You
I
play by
never,
ear, huh?
yeah, but chords too. Chords help a lot. But yeah, usually when I'm playing by myself, it's just by ear. I'm just making stuff up.
See,
Uh,
you're underplaying it, but that's super impressive right there. You're like, yeah,
really,
I play by ear a little bit, but it's mostly, it's that's so hard to do, man. Like like you're
yeah.
underplaying it. That's awesome, dude.
Well, I guess it's just because like it's so I've been doing it for so long now that it's just like it's just natural, like it's normal, like it's like yeah, like you just do it, like you don't think about it, you just do it, and it's not because like I can't play completely by ear. So say for instance, like You're like, man, I heard this really good song. Like, like you start trying to sing it, and like, okay, play to me, like, play for me. Like, I can't just like sit there and be like, oh, this is what this is. Um, I have to really know the song. Like, if it's a brand new song I've never heard of, and you're trying to sing it to me, and you want me to play for you, I'm gonna need the chords, like, cause I'm not gonna figure that out. But if it's a song I know by heart, like, man, I've sung the song so many times, I know how it goes. I could sit on the piano and figure it out with trial and error. But it's so hard when you're in the moment. So like I could do it in my own time, but when I'm on a stage and like I'm performing, it is so hard to do it in the moment. Like it's a total different thing than do it in the moment because you got the pressure of like, oh man, they're expecting me to just dish this out. I don't know what I'm doing. Like I feel like a fraud. And like they're expecting you to play the song they want you to play. You got no idea what key they're in, what they're trying to do, and they think, "Oh, you just play by ear." And you're like, "No, I can't." Some people can. I'm not at that level yet. I want to be,
I
but
think
I'm not at that
everyone
level.
is at that point in their life, dude. Everyone feels like a fraud. It's called imposter syndrome, and a lot of people have it, dude. A lot of us don't
Really?
feel like we're worthy enough for what we're doing. It's called imposter syndrome. You just feel like you feel like people are gonna find out you're fake.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. So
Is it different than an inferiority complex?
no, it's pretty much the same, but
Pretty
it's
much the
just a
same?
different thought pattern. You just feel like people are going to discover you're not actually doing what you're doing, and you feel like you don't know what you're doing. You thought you understood it, but now you feel like you don't understand what you're doing. You're like, what am I even doing here? I feel like a fraud. Like someone's gonna find out and they're gonna say it. That's imposter syndrome.
Yeah. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, but I only knew one person who can play by ear, and his name was Andrew, and he was a drummer. This man, dude, um, this man, dude, this guy, he was able to just to play the drums on any song. Like he can just catch the beat. Like he'll be listening to the song they start, and he'll just start playing the drums. They threw him in. Like we used to be a part of a church, New Harvest, and this man just they asked if anyone had a drummer, and they were like, okay, this music's not gonna be that great because our drummer's not here. This man just jumped in and started playing. He's going full on, and like it
Yeah.
sounded good. Like this guy just jumped in. He was able to play by ear, and every song service he was just just go all by ear. It was so awesome,
Yeah.
dude. Just watching this guy.
Yeah, drummers got it are they're underrated. They're extremely talented. Like it is seriously hard to be a drummer. There's so much stress to be that because if you mess up, everybody hears it and everybody notices it and you mess up the entire band.
Dude, keeping count on each limb, that's so freaking difficult. Have you ever
Yeah, it
like
is.
try to keep a count, like a 2 count on your left foot while having a 3 count on your right, and then
Yep.
doing then you're keeping that going while you're drumming with your
It's
hands, and you're trying to hit two different things,
it's
keeping a count there.
yeah.
That is so hard.
I've always struggled because like when they're doing like when they're building up a lot, they're hitting, the drop kick, the bass drum on the bottom, like that little marshmallow plushy thingy that like slams against
Hmm.
the big circle drum. They're hitting that, but they're not just like one, two, three, four building. It's like pause, hit, but they're hitting like one, two, three, four on top, and they got the snare on the offbeat, and so like you said, like this when this leg is going, this leg is stopped, and when this leg goes, the other one stops,
You know this is a
and
podcast, right? They can't tell what leg you're pointing at.
oh, they can't. That's right. Okay. I'm sorry. So when the left leg is stomping, the right leg is stopped. And then when the right leg starts to stomp, the left one stops. So they alternate. So they go like back and forth, left, right, left, right, left, right. And then, then they're going on the like it's yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
It's
it's
difficult.
the count. The count is trippy. I couldn't really wrap my mind about it. Like trying to figure out getting counts on music. Like I can stay with the beat clapping. I can always find the beat, but there's a count with all the instruments, and like drummers, they can find the count pattern on the songs.
Yeah, they're really good at it.
Yeah, I'm told you I'm not musically inclined. I like music. I like listening to it, but yeah, I'm not good at it.
Yeah. I don't even know how we got how did we get here?
Oh, we're talking about talking to people who are passionate about music, and then you went on being passionate about music, and it was really
Oh,
cool.
that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah,
Yes, I
but
love
see,
them.
that's what I'm talking about, dude. You talk to somebody about something they're passionate about, and they would just open up and just start talking to you. That's
Yeah.
something I learned from way back then, dude, from graffiti days. And I've learned through a lot of different people on a lot of different subjects. You just ask them questions, not condescending or like, oh, how do you do that? And just like stand dumb. Like you
Yeah.
try to learn the subject, and then you ask them a genuine question that you're struggling with, and you'll see a lot of people are opened up to tell you.
Do you think that's like an appeal to? Oh man, that's an interesting train of thought to go down. Let's do it. Do you think that's like an appeal to pride in some sense? Like, not like some like horrible like kneel before me, you pathetic
It feels
worm,
good.
but like
It no,
yeah,
I
like
agree.
it feels good,
It
huh?
feels good explaining something when someone asks you a question and you know the answer. Like, oh, I know that. Like, yeah, and then
Yeah.
like you start telling somebody. Like,
Right. So I don't think that's like a desire to better the add value.
yeah,
That's it.
no,
You're adding
it's
value to someone.
yes, but when you start chasing that, that's when it becomes a sin of pride.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it's too much.
Chasing
It's
that
excess
feeling.
of too much. That's basically where you get like gluttony and all that stuff, and it's just
Yeah.
you're
You know,
chasing the excess.
Proverbs says that says better is a little with the fear of the Lord than good treasure with the problems that come with it. Like
Ooh, I
it might
like
be a
that.
good thing, like it might not be bad, like it might be good, but it's better to have a little of it with the fear of God that, says, hey, this is a good thing I could have, but I'm not going to take all of it because I know that there's a lot of problems that come with that. So like, that good feeling you feel when you add value to someone's life, like, man, I felt really good. Like I helped somebody. I genuinely added something of value to this person's life. Like that's good. But then the excess of that is like you have that problem with pride now.
Yeah, I've because I've spoken to like a lot of like now that I'm older now, I'm pretty old. I've spoken to a lot of young men's life, and yeah, it is nice being able to speak into someone and help them. With certain things, they ask you a question, you can speak into their life because your words will carry on, like that one person did for me. It still carries now, and it taught me a lesson. Like I've always had people speak into
Yeah.
my life, and it carries me forward. And I'm like, oh man, I remember that one guy talked to me.
Yeah. And I actually remember a moment. I don't know if you remember it, but like it stuck with me. It was a moment you told me. Uh, it was a few years ago. You were teaching me how to drive, and you were telling me to look over my shoulder when I turned, and you said that there was a guy that was friends with your dad that he had died. I believe it was cancer. You said it was, but
Yeah,
how like he told you like you're doing good, Ern. He's like just make sure to look over your shoulders or something like that.
yeah, because that guy, his name was Cap. He was a real nice guy, man. He was cool. He everyone thought he was black. So when he came to the job, everyone thought he was gonna be a black guy, and turns out he was a white guy, was raised in a black neighborhood. So the culture and like we were talking earlier in the beginning, nurture versus culture. So his culture, he had a lot of black people, so he sounded like a black guy on the phone, but was like one of the whitest guys you would ever meet. He was cool, man.
That's
And
hilarious.
that time I was driving because everyone was too drunk to drive, so I was driving everyone home, and I was on the freeway on the interstate driving, and then I was glancing over my shoulder, driving, and I said, "Hey, like, how did I do?" And the guy said, "You did good." He's like, "Only thing is, you want to look over your shoulder more." He's like, "Cause I know you're using your side like peripheral to look." He's like, "But you should really overlook on your shoulders more just to look to that. That's all you need to work on." Because I was relying heavily on my peripherals.
Yeah.
But he spoke that just that little bit into me, and I would remember that till like the day I die. So I always
Yeah.
overlook now.
And I actually, you instilled that into me. Like you told me that story, and you followed it up with it. He ended up dying, and I guess that created something in my brain. I was like, oh, this is important. But like I literally remember that to look over my shoulder, and I think of that guy telling you you're doing good, but just look over your shoulder more. Like that's interesting the way that worked that you were telling me about that.
Yeah,
But
that's crazy. Like how much like something you would say to someone would travel on even after you're gone. Like your words still carry in this world when you're no longer
yeah,
here.
Oh, and that's a perfect tie-in to what we started off with about like persona, changing it, like what you're remembered by. Because
Oh,
I don't
dude.
know what that man's family was. Like I don't know what his story was, but like I'll always remember Cap, the white man who was raised by black people.
No, not raised by
Uh,
black people. Raised in a black neighborhood.
oh, raised. Okay, raised in a black neighborhood, telling you to look over your shoulder. Like that's a little bit of knowledge that's just stuffed away in my brain that I'll always remember.
Yeah, and he was the reason why I watched Harry Potter too, the movies.
Really?
Yeah, he read the books, man. He really loved the books, and he was all excited when every new movie came out. And we were actually coming back from watching the movie when I was driving, because I lived out in
Really?
Needles, and the casino, the Avi Casino, had a movie theater, so they would go gamble,
Oh,
and I would go watch a movie. But since Harry Potter was coming out, he wanted to go watch it too, so me and him went to go watch the movie. So every time I
nice.
hear about Harry Potter, I don't care that it's all witchcraft, all that stuff. I think every time I see Harry Potter stuff, it reminds me of my friend Cap.
Oh, how old is he?
Oh, he was like maybe 2 years older than my dad.
Oh, okay, so he was up there.
Yeah, I think he died when he was like 57, 58.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he was a good dude. I hope he found the Lord before he went into eternity. He was in Texas, the last I heard.
Texas, what part of Texas?
I don't know, dude.
Hmm,
He
that's cool.
he was part of a union and was in Texas, and then he had cancer. And I only knew about all this after the fact that he passed away. And
Yeah.
it hit me hard, man. That news hit me hard when I was on my way to work, and I just pulled over and I was just crying. I was just like, man, that's like it's trippy. Like just, you think back on people who are gone and how they leave marks in your life. But I think we
Oh
should
yeah.
leave that for another episode, man. Talking about
Yeah, that's a
leaving your
long
mark.
topic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I have a whole rambly thing about that too, and I can go into about that.
Yeah. It's definitely it's something that's yeah, I'll leave that for the next one because I was gonna share an experience I've had, but like that's a whole another podcast. Um,
But yeah, first
golly.
episode, man. That was kind of like it was kind of fun. We went into like some topics. You can chop and mix whatever you want out of whatever I said. I'm not tripping how my story comes out.
I like that. And for those listening, um, yeah, this is what it is. It's just talking. That's all it
It's just
is. We
digestible.
yeah, we're just regurgitating our experiences, what we know, into hopefully not too deep to where you can't understand, but deep enough to get you to think about it.
Oh, I thought you were
But
gonna go into the full
digestible.
description of your digestible, dude. I thought I was
Oh
getting our
no.
word salad right now. I was so excited for it.
I don't even remember what I wrote for the description. That's the thing. What did we talk about? I don't even remember
You
at this
don't even
point.
remember, do you? You
Yeah,
don't
we talked
remember
about
how we
music.
started? Do you remember how we
I
started?
it's subjective truth and cuss words. That's what we started on, and we
Yes.
never even got deep into that. We just
Yeah.
glossed over it.
Yeah, we went in subjective truth, cussing. Then we started talking about the pinnacle of man, and then we started comparing to Jesus, and then we went into um talking about passions and graffiti, and then I went into a whole side story of like my past life, who I used to be,
Oh yes.
and then we kind of came back and started talking about music, and then you got into some really good topics of like just being in the zone and like feeling music, which was really cool. And then what else? Oh, and
And
then
cap.
yeah, then we started talking about Cap, but leaving your mark. Well, Joseph, it was good talking to you, and I just want to say a little prayer for this channel.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So I'm going to say, Father God, we pray over this channel, Lord. We pray, Lord, that you may speak into people's lives. No, we know may not be in heavy topics all the time, Lord, and be lighthearted, but when we do talk of your love, we pray that we represent you on a good level, Lord, that we don't bring shame to your church, bring shame to your word. And Lord, we pray that you just continue to move in people's lives, Lord, and that they may hear not glorified ourselves, but glorifying you, oh God. We pray that you may move, help this channel grow. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Beautiful prayer. I love that.
This was
I
the
love that.
Digestible
That's what-
Podcast with Joseph as your host. So take what you heard and pass on your own point of view. We want to say thank you for being the third chair. This was produced by his Uncle Poe as the sometimes guest. This song should have faded off, but if you're hearing this, Joseph didn't edit it correctly. Let him know you heard this Easter egg.